What's up, guys? Welcome to the Big 4-0 for the New Boston, again with me, Travis. What we're going to do in this tutorial is basically kind of get the result of our intent that we're starting an activity for and setting our image view equal to the picture that we take. So what we're going to do is we're going to go below this bracket. I don't even know if you have to, but basically we're going to use a method from the activity class called onActivityResult, and that's going to basically allow us to get the data, make sure it's okay, and then we're going to set up our image view within this method. So again, we're just going to right click, go to source, override, implement methods, and we're going to scroll down for onActivityResult. onActivityResult, and it gives us some information. Again, it's going to pass in an int, another int, and the intent. So we're going to add that method, and it's going to be added right here, and it just again gave us some data. One is a request code, one is a result code, and one is they labeled them that, and one's called labeled data. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go within this method, and this might be kind of confusing, but I'm going to do another little application about kind of passing information between two activities, so it'll kind of sink in a little bit better. But what we're going to say if, and then within quotations, result code, which again is the information they gave us right here. We're just going to check out if it's okay, if we actually got some information from that activity that we started. Because whenever we use this start activity for result, we also want to have this method on activity result. And then it's going to give us some information. Hey, did it turn out okay? For the most part. And then it's going to give us some data if it did. So what we're going to do is say if it turned out okay for the most part, and we can use a control or a little variable for the method, or like a method or something called result okay. And then we're just going to add some brackets, and if everything's okay, as you can see, if you hover over it, says standard activity result, operation succeeded. So basically we're checking if the operation succeeded, and then if it did, we're going to try and set up some stuff. If it didn't, it's not going to set up anything. So that's kind of a safety. Basically we add this if statement for some safety. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get the information. So we're going to say bundle, which is a bundle variable, and we're going to call this E for like extras. Actually, I'll just type it out because it might make a little bit more sense. We're going to say E extras, then we're going to reference this intent that it passed in. So we're going to say intent, which was labeled data, then we're going to say dot get extras. And basically when we start our camera activity, when it closes, it's going to put extras, just like we did with our email activity, because when we set up our intent, we put some extras in there, and then the next activity got those extras. That's what we're kind of doing. We're doing the back side of it. This time, instead of putting extras, we're getting some extras. So we're basically just going to collect the extras from the data or the intent that was passed in through this method. And it's going to be of the type bundle. And now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a bitmap based on that bundle. So we're going to say, or actually, we need to set up the bitmap for a whole class again. So we're just going to scroll up and type bitmap like that, and then create the import our bitmap class so we can use that. Then scroll back down, and now we're going to set up that bitmap variable. We're going to say bitmap is equal to, and then within parentheses bitmap, and then we're going to say extras, which is basically this bundle. Extras dot get, and then within quotations we're going to say data. And that is a key. Basically, I'll show you guys how to set up. We're going to set up keys and pass those keys through. But basically, for the most part, it's just the key reference, and it's called data. So for the most part, you don't really need to know what that is at the moment, because we're going to jump into this whole idea, this whole concept of passing data between activities one more time in the future for this series. So don't worry too much if you guys are getting confused with this, because we're going to break it down even more. Just wanted to show you guys how we can get some extras from an activity, and then we're going to set up a bitmap based off of those extras. And when we put it in parentheses, it's basically saying we're looking for a bitmap type object or whatever. So there we go. We're set up our bitmap. All we have to do now is say IV for our image view that we set up in. This is the image view of our XML, and we referenced it in Java, and we called it IV for image view. And then we're just going to say set image bitmap. So there we go. As you can see, it takes a bitmap within its parameters. So we're going to set this bitmap equal to the bitmap we just got right here. So we're going to say BMP, and then we're good to go. It should set our picture. I'm going to run it. I'm not positive if it'll work on the emulator, but if not, I'll show you guys on my phone in the next tutorial when we actually complete this whole application. So. And again, I know this might have been confusing, the whole data passing stuff, but hopefully some of you guys caught on to it for the most part. And again, we'll review it. So when we hit this button, it goes to the on-click listener, and then it opens our camera activity. What? Opens our camera activity. We can take a picture. What? What? Alright, well, hopefully we can get this resolved in the next tutorial where we'll finish our application and everything. So I'll see you guys then. Sorry if it was confusing and it didn't work for the most part, but I'll catch you guys then. Have a good one.